Okay, folks. We just got through watching latest Star Trek Discovery. The butcher's knife cares not for the lamb's cry. Yeah.
Sorry.
That should give you an idea what we're after. Apparently, the butcher in this case being Captain Lorca, and the lamb's cry is basically everyone's saying, we need to slow down a bit and think a bit on this. No, push, go. Other folks already figured out that the big bad creature that tore apart the Glen was some kind of mutated water bear. So, but normally they're no more than like in 1 point. The big ones are like 1.5 millimeters long. Normally they're like a half a millimeter. Really kind of almost technically microscopic. You're good. But this one is about the size of a Mini Cooper. So, but that was interesting, trying to plot through that one. For those of you who did not like the security chief, well, hey, she's gone now, so don't have to worry about her anymore. Frankly, that actress did a much better performance on Star Trek Continues. Much better, more sympathetic character. Check that one out. I forget the name of the thing, but it was involved in the Defiant, oddly enough. But very, very old Kirk. Weird, but they pulled it off. I don't know. And after 6 months, the big bad Klingon ship is still out there. They have not moved, an inch except by drifting. Somehow they got the neck and the head back together. And they're starving out there, but at the time let's just say everyone wondering what happened to Captain Giorgio. They ate her. Yes, the Klingons are apparently cannibals. And it wasn't a food shortage at the time. It was more like, this is what we do with our fallen enemies if they happen to fall, we eat them. Okay. I don't recall that being part of the bargain early on with the Klingons. I'm going to send an email to Ron Moore and see what's like. Ron, in all those episodes you wrote about the Klingons, did you ever think of them as possibly cannibalistic? And it also brings up, that thing has bugged me from the beginning, but I kept forgetting to put it in. Why were they abandoning ship from the Shenzhou in the first place? There was no indication that she was in danger of blowing up. And it kind of, sort of the whole thing of escape pods in deep space anyway. In deep space, your best place is on that ship. Where you'll used to have the ship around you instead of a shoebox called an escape pod. You get that ship running, at least get the impulse engines back online and get the hell out of there. And call ahead for a tow, Or if you are going to, abandon ship and take a chance of the escape pod, you blow up the ship. Mm-hmm. You don't leave a big piece of advanced technology out there for anybody to come across, especially when you got all these Klingons sitting out there. And one of them's going to finally occur to, hey, there could be stuff on that ship we could use. In this case, apparently a dilithium converter with it looks like a fully functional warp core. It was still powered up. So, of course, the Klingons are kind of idiots in this case, too. It took them 6 months to figure that out. But, it's kind of, one plot hole with another. Because it never should have been left intact in the first damn place. So we're planning to Starfleet be utter morons. Again. For the purpose of advancing a strange plot point. And let's see. They get Burnham back in uniform, but no rank, no badge. It's just, I would think just put a blank badge. I don't put your rank on there. It just looks weird without a badge. Not like those uniforms look right anyway, but hell. And we find, it's got a gigantic water bear who apparently is, connected with these spores they're trying to turn into an infinite improbability drive. So they can be anywhere in the universe at any time, instantaneously without all that tedious mucking about in warp speed. It's like, folks, Douglas Adams wrote that as a joke. All right. The only thing missing when the Discovery does a thing is suddenly, like, two of the Klingon ships, one of them turned into a sperm whale, one into a bowl of petunias. So,
sperm whale? Oh, dear God.
I'll run you the episode later. I think it's on there. I got it on there. But Oh, speaking of those, supposed Klingon birds of prey they have floating around, those look more like flyers from the Goa'uld in Stargate. They just got the wings kind of canted down a bit, but otherwise. And one mining colony doing 40% of Starfleet's dilithium? This is only 10 years before original series. Guys, come on. It's one thing if it was like during Enterprise's time where we haven't gone out very far, so we have this one planet with a lot of dilithium and we're looking for more. But this is the 2250s. There should be lots of colonies out there with dilithium. 40% out of one colony, that is excessive. That's just amping up that's just amping up for no reason other than saying, this is really important. It shouldn't be that important. Not in this time. And I mean, it was kind of interesting now to figure out, I guess it fits, that since we're going to have a version of infinite probability drive, that the little gigantic water bear is basically their version of the Babel fish. You hook it up to this thing, and for some reason, this not really sentient creature happens to have inside its innards the map of the entire known galaxy. And you can use that to navigate your little force, it's just, I don't give a crap. See, the explanation is crap, okay? And frankly, the Orville did a better explanation of their drive session with the quantum something. I think there was a Heisenberg mentioned somewhere, but it's just nuts. Okay, it's very, in the end, it's all very well acted. They're doing what they can with what they've got. But what they got is still dubious. And I'm still not buying into Star Trek at this point. Especially when they, in order to, well, if you have to have your characters act like morons to move the plot along, you need a better plot. Because, again, that thing with the Shenzhou, this thing, the only reason they didn't blow it up so the Klingon could use it later. That is not good writing, guys. That is... Fan fiction writers know better than that, okay? And next week, we're finally gonna meet Harry Mudd in the version of Rainn Wilson. I'll have a link up here somewhere about that. But got an earlier commentary on that, and it's like he's got a handle on Harry, I guess, but it's any resemblance between that and Roger C. Carmel is like dubious at best because one, I think Rainn is somewhat shorter than Roger. Roger is very tall. And also, Roger made a point of giving Harry an English accent. Kind of, not particularly posh, but sort of, bit of a, little lower work, kind of middle class, London type accent, sort of, if it wasn't out, hustling, fake mining permits on holidays, you'd be, street market, in Peckham, hawking, hooky stuff. So, I don't know. It kind of goes in the thing of, if you're going to... I just think, one of the things that kind of bugged me a lot is, these supposedly fans think nothing of trash talking and downplaying the original series and the fans of the original series. Oh, that's old enough. Look, one, this stuff has not persisted for 50 years for nothing, okay? This isn't all this nostalgia. All this stuff holds up very well. And, again, don't confuse the materials used to build them with the design. The designs and the materials are two different things. And it's shown when Enterprise recreated the sets for In a Mirror Darkly. It was original designs down to the millimeter. In fact, I think they found blueprints, but modern materials, and they have, real monitors and the things instead of just plexiglass with Christmas lights. So yeah, those designs still work perfectly well. They were and they were very well thought out. It wasn't just throwing things together. Oh, this is blinky light. No, because it was built by people who had been in a military kind of situation. Matt Jeffries, and Roddenberry both flew B-17s during the war. Other, staffers have been in the military, so they knew, how things work in a military type situation, what would work right. And one of the things that Jeffries did when he designing the bridge, the panel, sat down in a chair and figured out what is the perfect placement for panels, monitors, and that's why it's laid out the way it is. There was very serious thought put in, and everything else. When they've especially the JJ, and I'm thinking more along with this current stuff, the panels and also the layout of the bridge is laid out such that the captain can swivel straight and see every station and get an idea of what's happening around him. You can't do that on this new bridge. The new bridge one is way too big for that. So even if the stations were arranged so he could see them, it's too far away for him. And they're not angled that way anyway. What you've got is enough space for a dance studio. In fact, he can go all the way up and down. That is not a bridge. I can't lie. Because even the Enterprise D bridge, it really is about the same size as the original series bridge. At least width-wise, it's deeper, long ways, but it's the same size as the original series bridge. But then maybe it's a foot or two. But the whole thing of you start trash talking you old fogies, you just get it, get with it, the program here. And your stuff is old and decrepit, and this stuff is going to be dated within 6 months after this thing ends. And the originals are still keep chugging along because it was well thought out and done by professionals who knew what they were doing. But it kind of goes back to saying any prequel series that doesn't properly honor the source material is going to go down in flames because you're undermining your foundation. It's got to be true to the source material, or it's not a prequel. It's not a true prequel. It's just playing on a theme, and they will pay the price for it because it won't match up. I don't care what explanation they have for it. I'm saying it's supposedly, and also I said, well, I read in the new novel they explained it all. I shouldn't have to go out and buy a book to explain what's on the screen. If it's on the screen, it ain't in the scene. Yeah. So if they can't explain it in the show, then they didn't explain it. They'll leave it to some other author to come up with an explanation. I can't come up with explanations for this crap. Probably better than what they've come up with so far. And personally, my favorite is going to be involving Q coming along. Haha, you've learned your lesson now. Whap. And then put the Discovery something becomes one of those, designed on the AMT 8-inch model. Lorca is going to be in a green gold turtleneck and everything, But, that's me. Yeah, I still don't think it's worth, $6.99 or $5, how much they're charging to see this, because it's not Star Trek, guys. I don't care what kind of label they put on it. If you want Star Trek, it's on Thursday nights, 8 o'clock, it'll be 9 o'clock on Fox, 8 Central Mountain, following Gotham. Because they got people on there who know Star Trek, and they're doing it right. And they've just gone from strength to strength. Every episode's been, at least as good as the one before it. And you're going to hear a lot more people clamoring to be a part of, I think Seth MacFarlane's getting all these people showing up. There'll be a Liam Neeson in a cameo. You got Charlize Theron in the whole episode. Patrick Stewart's coming up, and Scott Bakula, he's showing up as cameos. I know it's not going to happen. It'd be fun if in that hologram, in the environmental simulator, they do a Star Trek simulation. Show up on the bridge of the Enterprise, and have Captain Picard or Captain Archer going there offering advice to Captain Mercer of how do you get out of that situation. And if they were to do that, then what the hell? Throw in Bill Shatner in a movie uniform and go for it. But I know that wouldn't happen. It's not going to happen at this point anyway, because they're direct competition with Star Trek. So no way they're going to allow that kind of licensing going. It'd be a great fanfic story though. So somebody come up with that. And I might do it myself like that time, but I don't think I got the time really. So it'll be fun to see somebody come up with that story. But yeah, all the people that are starting to flock over to Fox. Well, and they also know that they'll have a better audience on Fox because it's free. It's open to everybody. You can go on Fox.com and watch the whole episodes. You don't need to go through a paywall. It's right out there. Turn on the TV at and actually, when they've done all the number crunching, they're supposed to drop ratings from Thursday, and they move to Thursdays. Not really there. People they're still watching, but they're watching other ways than live, and they really should be watching live. But I understand they're already pretty much assured of renewal for second season. Discovery, they're still negotiating. What does that tell you? Tells me that all the happy talk about we're great, and they're not doing that great. They said they set a record for number of subscriptions. If the number was crap to begin with, then it's a pretty low bar to set a record. So yeah. Still, I think the jury's still out on whether or not this is going to be around for season 2. I think what I was saying, even if there was a season 2, it wouldn't be around for another year anyway. So good luck trying to recapture that audience. And if they had a year to think about it and go through the analysis and whether they still like it after looking at it for a year, unimpeded, and do a little binging. It's like, yeah, I don't think so. Because the one advantage I have now is you got a week in between episodes to kind of forget what you saw last week, hopefully, and then come back with fresh eyes and a little more eager. But I think there'll probably be another uptick towards the end of the thing where people could say, okay, I'm just going to sign up, binge it, and cancel the next day. Or next couple days afterwards. So they're really setting themselves up here. Yeah. Anyway, Cafe Press, PayPal, Patreon down below, and the Teespring, for the Thanks a Lot Alec t-shirt. And we will see what happens and it comes up here. Oh, and as of this counting, let's do a quick renew here. $501. You just crossed 500. Okay, we're at 501 subscribers, guys. So we're halfway to the big time. Now I gotta figure out what happens to get with 500. Just a happy note from YouTube, or it's actually one of those little plaques. But yeah, when I hit 1,000, then we start doing sponsors and the live chat with the mega chat and start having some real fun. But yeah, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Believe me, guys, because anything to make this thing a success and really get going here. So catch you later.